welcome to Cafecito Chat. It is so exciting to have you as our inaugural guest launching this podcast. And el tema de hoy, René, es Cultura on the Shelf. First of all, bienvenidos, René Leyva. Tell me a little bit more about yourself.
I'm the executive director of the Foster Ridge Public Library District in Braidwood, which, if you don't know where that is, essentially it's on Route 66. And it's actually pretty fun just because we represent 10 towns. Um,
Hmm.
Library, 14,000 or 54 residents, and I'm like next door to us is a school, so it's always interesting to see
Oh, wow.
help them out. Yeah. Um, and the interesting part of being in a rural library is the fact that some of these communities we have a population of 600, of 1,000.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's one of those things where you really have to have the mindset of like, not everyone can afford everything you're able to
Yeah.
do. So since I've been working here, the goal is like, how can we get that financial strain out of using the library? So we
Yeah.
became within 4 years since I've been here, we became fine free. We made sure we
Salud.
yeah,
Where's your taza? Let's do a salud to that.
it's in here. It's a really it's and it's gonna be a tangent. Café de la olla. So
Okay.
it is really tasty, and if no one knows what that is, it essentially has cinnamon and it has a little brown sugar in there. With the
Oh, qué rico. I am doing café cubano today. I needed something a little stronger.
More about that one. I know the Sofia Vergara, la actriz, she was talking about how she really is a good person to judge coffee,
Okay.
and she was like,
Colombia and coffee, you
"Yeah,
can't go wrong either.
no, you'll be awake for a while." You're gonna and then with the library world, right now I'm currently the vice president, president-elect of the Illinois Library Association.
Felicidades. That's
No,
new. How did that come to be? How did you always kind of have that goal in mind?
I think it's in my head. There's always a plan of like where do I want to be in a few years, and I also don't want to be wait. I don't want to wait. I also don't want to wait for an invite. The I think the concern, obviously, as being Latino, is you always have to work harder than most people.
Mhm.
Fact that maybe some people don't think of, you just, I don't know what, I feel like we're always pressured to do more and to justify why we have those jobs. It's almost like um we just I feel like we put more effort in making sure that we're doing the job right so that no one questions us.
Mm.
You have to remind yourself in a constant basis. And so it's one of those things where, yeah, I think it's always been there in my head that I want to do this. So, like previously, I was also the president of Rails, which is the regional library, a northwest side of Illinois, and it was a phenomenal opportunity. So for me, it was like being able to work with Monica Harris and being an understanding of like the bigger picture,
Mhm.
get the bigger picture and understanding, like, it's not just public libraries. It's your school libraries, it's your academic
Mhm.
libraries, it's your special libraries, your small rural ones. It's one of those things where how can you create more positive impact for everyone? So when I was given the chance and I was elected by my colleagues and members of the ILA, that was I'm able to do that. I'm able to work with everyone and hopefully create some type of positive change for the future because I'm going to be around it all. It's an honor, it's a privilege, and I'm also very excited to talk to you because let me just tell you, when I saw the name WEPA, I was just like, oh, this is different. And then I have a marketing background, so when I saw the colors, the vibrant colors, and just your way of being and the leadership role and what you're doing, it's just inspiring for a lot of Latinos out there. You don't understand. It's like as a child, as a first generation immigrant coming from Mexico, I remember going to Pullman, George and Pullman School in Roseland, and not having those literary books. We would have
Yeah.
the textbooks in Spanish, but that wasn't enjoyable. And so we didn't have that much of a selection. So to have your business right now being able to provide that to schools that don't understand um how to do the collection development, how to pick
Sure.
really great books, it is amazing of the work that you're doing, the amazing stuff that your colleagues are doing. It's just I'm in awe and very fortunate
Oh,
to be able
thank
to do this
you.
with you. And I really hope that like I feel like part of me wants to make sure that you succeed and your business succeeds. Because if you succeed, that means that there's going to be kids out there that will be able to understand themselves and their story
Yeah.
and be able to see themselves in these books. So again,
Yeah.
great work. And I'm just happy to be here. And I'm just happy to be able to talk to you because it's one of those like we're always busy and we're always on the go. And sometimes
Yes.
sit down.
Right, we don't have time to catch up.
Yeah.
There's a few like several things that really, resonate with me from what you shared. Just one, not waiting to be invited, you know, the aspect of waiting and hoping waiting, hoping someone will notice you.
Mm.
Um, and also leadership today. What do boards look like today? What will they look like tomorrow? And how does that kind of jive with WEPA? Um, Similar story, I my obviously I'm Puerto Rican. If you didn't know, we're Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
Um, and I come from a very rural upbringing. Um, Not San Juan. My crianza was cortando plátano con machetes, rubber boots in the clay as a kid. And so that kind of upbringing and then getting into, I was raised also in Section 8 housing in Philadelphia. So poor urban area, very two kind of clashing upbringing. And then now into Northwestern Illinois, close to Chicagoland. And growing up, always kind of being the in between culture, and I think more and more young leaders today are that generation, the millennial generation of the in between, where we have our crianza that was very different than the community that we kind of have to find a spot, and the juggling of finding your spot, and the whole reason I launched WebBow is because I mean, don't get rid of finding my spot. I'm gonna create my spot. I'm not gonna wait until someone invites me. And so rolling up your sleeves and seeing the need, like you said, that's it's not just a public library need, a school library. It's just a point blank need at this point in terms of communities on a recurring basis not having materials, books, resources that they need fundamentally in a rudimentary, like just yes. And so um, we are loud and vibrant and proud, purposefully, but also authentically. When you go to any Latino culture, any Latino neighborhood, there's color, right? We speak with our hands, our voices are loud. You can't miss us. So that's the point of it. We don't want someone to pass us by when we go to industry events. But also I hear it too when people pass by our booths. Um, it's like I feel this magnetism towards just the first time feeling represented, even just in the branding aspect of it. Um, you'll see me there with hoops and bold lipstick because that's just how I was raised. I don't know how else to tell you. Like, we were raised with color and vibrancy, and that's the whole aura with WEPA. Even though we do offer more than 24 languages, our name is Spanish, not in the sense that we only carry Spanish, but it's just the way of life. Right? That's just the Puerto Rican way of Wepa, like celebrating joyful resistance, right? I didn't wait to be invited to create this. I created it, and we're here to stay. And it's just so beautiful to connect with leaders like yourself because there's so few far between minority leaders, Latino leaders, doing things that really continue to lift communities' voices and faces, and give communities a microphone, give communities materials that reflect them.
No, la otra cosa, the other thing is also making sure that we invite each other
Yes.
to these places because I think one of these things, It's so many people are waiting for this type of opportunity, these type of roles, and it's one of those things where it's like, well, who else is waiting? Who else has been working hard? Who hasn't been invited? And it's as much as you can wait or not wait to be invited. There's some individuals that are not that forefront in regards to pushing themselves to it. So it's like, okay, here, be part of it. You want to be part of a panel. You want to be part of a discussion. You want to be part of
Mhm.
a board. It's one of those like you have to do that to move forward and to create progress. And I think it's sometimes people just feel like depending on their life stage or depending on where they're at their lives, that sometimes they're like, maybe I'm not worthy. They question themselves. And
Yeah.
that's when you have to remind them, no, estás listo, estás lista.
Yes.
Let's just
Yeah. I launched WEPA. I mean, I founded the idea when I was 5 months pregnant and I had an infant. Um, then we launched for business 2 months postpartum, and then we've just exploded. But just there's never going to be a good time.
no,
Just just start. You have to start. You have to start. And the idea of also lifting others with you. Um, we're really, really, really intentional about the authors that we partner with and we bring, focusing on like in Latino independent authors because that life is also really has its own challenges of publishing and then marketing your own book, but also linking with little bookstores in Colombia
that's
whose voices are just as important, especially as the immigration trends change. Where the past couple of years, the U.S. has seen huge numbers of immigrants to Venezuela, de Colombia, especially the Central America, and so we're always intentional with our procurements, and even we visited Bogota, the Feria Internacional de Bogota. Everybody talks about El Fil de Guadalajara is beautiful. We've
yeah.
been. Um, but I don't think people realize that there is a huge, in global literacy, economic inequity when it comes to these international fairs. Just getting to a Fil Guadalajara as a bookseller is extremely costly. And so when you go there, I noticed that my team noticed, you see the giants, the normal giants, the big time, big names. But what we hear when we are here with our clients and libraries is we have Colombianos, you have Colombian books. And then I'm like, well, let's go to Guadalajara and see what we can find. And there's not even a booth, a Colombian booth. And so it takes intentional efforts to find and invite those voices in. So we went to Bogota and had delicious carimañolas, by the way.
That
But yeah, we travel more to than just your well-known um, locations. We want to really get authentic voices, and you have to be willing to go out there, travel, meet people. We went to local bookstores, had lunch with the owners, met independent authors.
Yeah, it almost seems like some of these organizations that do the book festivals, it's unintentional censorship because they don't understand. I'm like, those
Yeah.
prices are pretty much telling others don't come because we need the money. And we understand sometimes, there's the money aspect.
Yeah.
Anytime you're losing culture by not allowing these other booksellers or other
Mhm.
publishers that have those items, but they just can't afford to
In
attend.
the US, and that's the difference too. It's very individually focused,
Yeah.
and we're trying to really bring back the idea of core is community. Like we all need each other, and but that's from even when we talk to library directors of how do you get to know your community? Well, who are your support staff? Who talk to the volunteers running your ESL classes? They know who's coming in, really leaning into every voice that makes up an organization so that you can ultimately really serve your community well.
What's the time frame? Like, if someone submits an inquiry of like, "Hey, I really need help in a Spanish collection," like I did,
Yeah.
What's like the time frame when someone inquires and then someone receives? Like how much?
Yeah, so it 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 depends. For your collection, for example, your with the opening collection, we want to those patrons to really just be visually dazzled, but also culturally affirmed and have moments of exploration with those materials, even like you said, from a vocabulary standpoint. Um, so a mix from when someone submits an inquiry, you'll hear from us that day or the next day. First of all, we are ultimately so responsive. And whether your preference is to continue emailing, I prefer either a phone call or a video call to really understand what you're looking for and knowing your demographics. So I'll ask questions like, what your patrons, if their patrons are visiting, what do they access? Are they coming only for copy services? Are they abuelitas coming with their nietos? Tell me about your community, because then that fuels our curation too. Um, what we're hearing a lot now is like the abuelas coming and wanting bilingual books to keep the language alive in younger generations that were born here, maybe third or fourth generation. And so that bilingual format is really critical for that type of patron, that type of kind of sub demographic of the Latino community. And there's so many great options. And so those types of books can come in within 2 weeks. For a larger opening collection where we're grabbing those types of materials, but also importing them Mexico, importing the Colombia. That's when you can kind of get a more lengthy timeline because international importation is a journey. Um, when we do business, sometimes it's over the phone, sometimes, depending on our familiarity, we have to use WhatsApp to communicate. WhatsApp, like the text message to kind of submit our orders. Um, and so that can run a month and a half to 2 months to get the import them here. Sometimes they come by plane, sometimes by boat. Um, and make sure that they all look good, that they're beautiful. Libraries, especially since books are circulating, we try to, whenever possible, to get hardcover, to kind of boost that feature. But first and foremost, definitely a strong storyline and just a beautiful book. We want the opening collection, especially, you want these books to draw people in. The books need to be just beautiful and vibrant because that's the community, Latino community. We love color. Just it attracts anyone, really. It makes it more browsable.
What's their background in being
Oh yeah,
curated?
our curators.
Yeah.
Oh, we have like kind of a smaller network of curators, and their backgrounds is so fascinating. We have teachers who are very much social justice core in their hearts, and so they're looking at those themes, but also kind of sub themes of Latino communities that really hit different upbringings and needs, like you said, of needing to be seen or common childhood experiences that can kind of n- nurture inequities, unknown inequities that you accept as a child, but then when you read a book about it now, you're like, oh my gosh, I lived this as a child. We also, our project coordinator, does kind of put some math to it. We want this percentage of fiction. That fiction needs to be this percentage of this format, percentage of this format. So we really are, from a cultural perspective and even like a calculative perspective, looking at collections really thoroughly and intentionally to make sure it's balanced, it's beautiful, that it speaks to as many people as possible in your community.
That's awesome. And one of the things I also noticed from the website or the service that you offer, maleta.
Yes, our newcomer maletas, they're our most popular.
Yeah, and so who fits that category? Like, how do you work those out?
So our newcomer maletas, most of the time it's our school partners that take advantage of that. And so that comes from my experience. I started my career as an educator and became a district leader. But schools, I know receiving newcomers. So, students who are brand new to the country or within their first 2 years of arrival to the United States. As a student population, they really need special attention to ensure that they feel welcomed, safe, that they feel affirmed and celebrated versus kind of just forgotten in the assembly line of registration, um, and just the overall learning experience. And so most schools do have what was called like a newcomer welcome procedure where they have support systems in place. But one of the things that we really want to really be intentional about was when they are welcomed, how are you showing that you value their language, that you value the assets that they're bringing to your school community? And so that's where the newcomer maleta was born in the physical shape of a luggage. It is colorful and beautiful because we want to just embrace that immigrants are beautiful, first and foremost. Immigrants come with assets. That luggage is beautiful. It's not torn, it's not ripped. Um, it's beautiful, and inside typically is a custom book collection for them that the school gifts them. And its purpose is to one, bridge family and school together and start a home library. Give them a home resources at home, because a lot of schools give this to like refugees, for example, specifically, where they had to come here with so little. Their entire home life is, they're starting completely over, which en muchas veces no tienen nada. They had to really bring the bare minimum. And so to have a piece of home in their home just speaks volumes. And you're going to see just more, they're going to lean towards you more, those students, those families, knowing that, wow, like they gifted us something from from our home country. And two, you're promoting biliteracy, not just English assimilation. You want the families, you're encouraging them with this welcome gift to continue nurturing their home language, which research already has proven when students have this rich foundation in their home language, they actually outperform students who are monolingual English speakers.
That's awesome. Because I think for me, it's just para ver los ojos de los niños cuando
Mhm.
reciben maleta y lo abran y lo tienen todos los libros. And for I feel for the land culture too, recibiendo un regalo
Yes,
is something
yes.
special when it's meaningful. You get something personal, you remember that for life.
Yeah.
And we keep those regalos.
I was just gonna say, you will not. I've heard stories principals have shared with me of how parents reuse the box
Yeah.
for all kinds of things.
Yeah. Oh, I know. My mom still uses, and I think that this is a culture. Everyone I think does this. Is they use the butter, the butter.
Yes, I was just gonna say, that for me growing up, my abuela would use the "I cannot believe it's not butter"
Yeah.
container, and she used which she was sofrito, which is like a spice blend we put in meats and soups.
Yeah.
So you open it, "Oh, I'm gonna get butter." This
No.
is definitely not butter, it's sofrito.
And it happens all the time. I remember. I think we've had several friends over. They've never been exposed to the Mexican culture. They open the fridge and they're like, "Wait a minute. Why is there?" Then they will call it smelly cheese. There's specific cheese that you get from Mexico,
Yeah.
and it's strong, and I'm like, don't taste it, you're fine."
What about the ollas in the oven you grew
Yeah.
up with?
Oh,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
yeah, and we're like, "Ay, lo biquito," and my mom's like, "What? Just take them out and then put it back
Yes.
on." And I'm she's like, "You'll be fine," or, oh my gosh, there's so many little things. I think
Mhm.
it's so nice though to and again, to find these little stories in books, and that's what you want, like, when we were
Yeah.
talking about the Cafecito chats. It's like, I remember I still remember because my mom still does this, is you get the instant coffee,
Yeah.
Nescafe. For
Yep.
some reason, Nescafe is it, and my wife's like, "Why is it an instant coffee?" It's like, "I don't know, that's what I've been used to." And so, I can drink it, and in my head, I can still remember, my abuelita when we were little. during the weekends, you have tamales, tenés
Mhm.
carnitas, all this like heavy food. Uh, you literally drink coffee at a young age
Oh, yeah.
so that you can dunk your concha or a cookie,
Yep.
una galleta in el café, and then for some reason it melts in your mouth and you're oh, it's so good.
So what age? What age did you have your first coffee, Rene?
Probably was 7 or 8. Let me
Okay, mine was the same. I was 7 or 8. For me, my dunk features. So pan asobao in Puerto Rico is like the most delicious fresh hot bread. You buy it that day at the bakery. Um, Puerto Rican avocados, and if you've seen them, are massive.
Okay, I've seen different
When
types.
I came here to the US and like more common, you see Mexican avocados, it blew my mind. I'm like, is it sick?
Yeah.
Why does it look like that? Because estoy acostumbrada. This super bright green. They're sweet too. Put a hunk in the slice of bread and you dunk it in a café. Telenovela con mi abuela, and that was like my nightly cap as a child.
Talking about again, just living your life in America. I remember going to field trips,
Mhm.
and my mom would never want to buy us at that time. I think Lunchables just came out or something of that sort, and she was like, "No, I made you a sandwich," and I'm like,
Yeah.
"Pero ma, I don't want that." No,
Yeah.
voy a hacer our sandwich porque es lo que hice. It's like okay, but people when they think sandwich, they think of like sliced white bread. No, this is pan de agua. And then
Yes.
that was like the size of your head and then oldish hand. And I'm like, and then they put jalapenos and then I'm like, I can't take that. You're embarrassed. But at the same time, now,
Yes,
no,
how delicious, how
give me that sandwich.
fortunate.
Yeah, you don't even think about it. Oh, pero talking about food, because again, I'm a foodie, is my favorite almuerzo. It was in Mexico City. I had it for the first time for some reason, and it tastes so good. It was tostada fried tortilla with refried beans,
Mhm.
fried egg with chile verde. It's got to be
Oh,
sour.
sounds delish.
Oh my gosh! With a coffee, you're done. You can eat one.
Done. Call it a day. I come to work. I'm enjoying this tostada.
But if you're not counting your calories and you're on vacation, then you eat 2 of those and you should be fine.
Yeah, sounds so good.
Your breakfast. What's your go-to breakfast?
Ah, and when I have time,
Yeah.
when I have time, for me, at this point, like the Cuban coffees are like a standard for me. Um, I found like a quick Nespresso cap version, the realities of 21st century. That's my coffee. Um, and then depending if I went to the bakery on weekends, I go to a Puerto Rican bakery in Elgin.
Yeah.
Sometimes I do the empanadillas de guayaba and queso. Like I like sweets. So
Yeah.
my coffee, like a strong coffee and like a sweet breakfast, that's enough for me. That's enough. Like a big hearty breakfast once in a while, estilo americano, but for me it's a coffee and like a pastry and I'm set. What about you?
You just explained why in their land culture, diabetes is like a trend. The amount of sugar and calories that we intake during the weekend is
I
horrendous.
know, it's like it's in my family too. It's like, oh, it's really hard to not do.
And I know, and it looks so good. I'm like, "Why is it shiny?" No. I'm like, "No, pero if we're doing a family gathering at my mom's house, usually it will be you have your carnitas,
Mm,
have
for
or
breakfast too.
yeah, I
Wow,
I know, pero
that's a lot.
or she'll do menudo.
Okay,
Oh, menudo, it's not for everyone. Like, my wife will eat it, but she won't eat the, pozole part.
okay.
Yeah, and then she'll put the beef stew or whatever, it's
The
called.
caldo.
Yeah, the caldo, and she'll eat that, but she would not eat the stomach linings, and I'm like, "I get it." But at the same time, like, one of my favorite foods is fried, tripas.
Yes.
Tripas.
Yeah, we have gizzards in Puerto Rico. I love it.
Oh my gosh, it's so delicious, you just don't wanna tell people, "Yeah, I'm eating pig."
No, just don't tell them. This not
Yeah,
aquí the delicious Mexican food. Toma, what do you think?
yeah. Don't
Don't tell them.
yeah,
Don't
don't
tell them.
what it is.
Don't tell them.
we're gonna get invited to something, and then they're gonna be like, "What are you feeding me?" And it's just like, "Don't worry, just swallow. We'll talk about it in a few
Every
bucks."
culture has it. Every culture. When I traveled to Egypt, I tried pigeon for the first time. Like an entire, they baked a pigeon, and I knowingly ordered it. They told me what I was like. I have to try. This is they enjoy it, and they actually really treat their pigeons como pollos. Like they raise them. It's not like aquí in Chicago where you have some pigeons that might beat you up.
Yeah. No,
But it was good. It was good. A little flaquito. It needed more meat, but it was sabía como pollo.
and the funny
Right.
thing is, like, my wife's family, it's all American food.
Yeah.
One of the things that they eat that I can't do is anything that, deer. Uh,
Oh, I've
they're
tried it.
I can't do it. I don't know why, and that's the thing though is, I can eat pig tripe, I can eat cow's life, but for some reason, I can't do, deer jerky or anything to do with venison, porque
Yeah.
no es para mí.
Yeah, I'm on board with that.
I don't get.
Lo he probado porque mi esposo es de Michigan and he's like a big hunter and that's parte de la cultura de él.
But again, different cultures, so it's always interesting what people like and they don't like, and
Yes.
that the yeah, and it's always interesting. Life is different when you're able to celebrate 2 different cultures at the same time.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing.
yeah. And then so one of the things that I noticed too was that the you just got honored with an award. And I'm trying to remember what was it?
Oh, yeah.
The
The
Latino Community Leader Award?
Latina Community Award.
How did that come about? Like, was it something out of the blue or
I was nominated. And so it was really cool to see that, you say like always keep an eye out for others in the community and it's our second time this year that we've been nominated for a recognition in that sense. We were nominated early in the year, like in February, by NAVE, which is the National Association of Bilingual Education, for as an engagement leader of the year for our efforts in engaging diverse communities. Um, and this year was specifically to me by Fig Factor. I think they're a publishing house. Um, and Latina community leader is surprised. I was surprised, I was honored. It was such a beautiful ceremony. It's just a room full of Latino leaders in some sense. Some of them were business owners, some of them had leadership roles within the organization, but all of our efforts were focused on the betterment of communities. And so it's just really cool. It's really cool, one, to be recognized. Obviously, we really work hard to ensure that we're lifting voices and those voices are being seen, through materials, but also helping other leaders. So whether it's library directors or principals or superintendents, understand how to create those invisible communities, make them more visible because it's not like we're silent. It's just a matter of being intentional and knowing how to engage diverse communities. Um, it's really, the reality is, like you and I, we are unicorns in a sense. There's so few Latinos in leadership positions for many systemic reasons that I won't go into. Um, But when you are recognized and it's also in the media, everyone sees it. And I want them to see that you can do this too. You can be a leader. You are a leader too, especially being Latina. You know, the WEPA Libros is nationally certified as a woman and minority owned distributing company. There's less than 1% of us. Less than 1%.
that's amazing.
And, I wanted to ask you too, because you're in a similar boat where, directors or executive directors of libraries being Latino, or, in ILA having a president-elect that is Latino. Um, it's so few. But what is your perspective on it? Is it a lot of pressure? How do you take it?
So before I even answer that, I'm like we have actually our first Latina, so Carolyn Ciesla, who's right now the president,
Beautiful.
first Latina of ILA. And just to follow that is amazing because she's a very talented individual. She's right now the director of the library in Elmhurst University. And so I'm honored and always like blurred that the fact that there's so many strong female in our profession. As a brother of three sisters and a single mom, it's one of those things where it's like it's engraved in my head of like, hey, respect.
Yeah.
Need to
Smart man.
need to make sure you show respect. We need to make sure that um, like we just support one another. There's
Mhm.
not many of us, and like go back and ask that question. I'm sorry, and I apologize.
I mean, just being in the slim percentages, and how do you maximize that platform?
And I do use LinkedIn a lot. I use LinkedIn a lot, but I reach out to people. I congratulate them. I try to have conversations, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Some people decide not to continue a conversation, and which is totally okay. That's their right. But at the same time, for me, it's kind of like I just want to be part. I just want to make sure that I keep those relationships with people in our profession, so that I can hear their story
Yeah.
and so hopefully I can share that story. And for me, I'm working already on the conference for next year for ILA. And the biggest thing is going to be sharing people's stories and sharing
Mhm.
library stories. And if I can do that in a speech for me would be wonderful because there's so many people that are not being recognized
Yeah.
for their work. And I totally get it. There's for us, like for example, ILA and ALA and PLA, and then some other organizations to give out awards. But at the end of the day, it's like there's people that just don't want to be acknowledged, and we get it. But at the same time, it's like I really want to share people like what you're doing because it's awesome and amazing. And there's so many great human beings. And it doesn't have to be based on color or saying Latino, but I recognize for a fact that there's not many of me. And
Yeah.
so my I feel like my parents, my any of my family members have engraved that mentality of like a trabajar,
Yeah.
grind, grind,
Mhm.
keep going at it. If it's not working out, find another way. I have goals. It's one of those like I have educational goals and I have financial goals. And at the end of the
Mhm.
day, like my goals, they're met there, and I have family goals. And so at the end of the day, it's kind of like I know what I can offer, and I know what I can bring. And if I have to just work harder to get there, it's okay. But for me, like right now in the conference committee, one of my personal goals um was to get a lot of people who have never been part of ILA or been part of the conference committee to put their voice in.
Yeah.
And a lot of different faces. And this year we've been very fortunate to have so many people that have never been part of ILA to be part of this committee, to be part of the voices, to change and to update the conference into something that I hope that everyone will enjoy and everyone will find something that they're gonna share with their own board or own library. So the goal is to share. For me, it's like I don't want to gatekeep.
Yeah.
I don't want to not have information accessible, so I push like the for library systems or the organization to say, what more can we do? We have all these resources that are not being shared. Well, how can we share them? And just have those discussions. I might not have the idea, the the overall concept of the project, but if I can instill those ideas into other leaders, hopefully they have the staff that are able to support that and say, "Hey, I think we can figure this out and how to work this out." So at the end of the day, it's like if I can have that little idea engraved in their heads, hopefully they can think about something and find an answer to the bigger picture. Because at the end of the day, it's like if um if I know that there's a hole and a gap in knowledge, um in our profession for our library workers and everyone that works in our profession, then I would hope that I speak up and say, "Hey," because at the end of the day, at least I can say, "I did my part. I voiced my concerns. I voiced my opinion." And maybe it's not, maybe we're not ready for that yet. However, I know at the end result is that would be great if we're able to pass certain legislation or certain services for all library workers. Because at the end of the day, is if we don't have the tools to succeed, then we're putting ourselves behind. And if we have the bigger libraries or library systems that are able to afford, why can't we share that information? Why can't
Yeah.
we share those resources? We're all in the same boat. We all want to make sure libraries stay around, and we also want to make sure that we stay relevant and continue offering like the high standard programming that we do.
Mhm.
Veronica, the one thing with you is that's again still amazing is that you're working, you're grinding, you're putting yourself out there. We're
La
doing
chamba.
yeah, and
Yeah, like what more Latino is that? I mean, you're speaking in a way that's just so communal at its core, which is how you're using like your platform is one bringing community back into decision making in libraries, for example, using your voice, even if it shakes, if it's not heard the first time, um, and everyone chipping in, understand everyone's voices make this better for the community. Um, I'm almost like estilo quinceañera where, all the family members chip into that event, um, and capitalizing on everyone's experience and everyone's voice because that's gonna make everything better for everyone. Um, and it's so beautiful to hear that. Of course, never letting a no take you down, continuing to pursue goals.
yeah,
I really resonate with that.
yeah. I think it's and I think we've discussed this before, and it's like having ambition.
Yeah.
You can't teach ambition. You have to have that for yourself.
Mhm.
Like you said, setting goals because at the end of the day, it's like once you meet your goals, all right, have another list.
Yes. There's already like several more just waiting for that cue.
Um, no, but again, thanks for doing this. Seriously, for just having this chat with me. Just being able to do this is amazing because for me, is looking forward to like what else you have to bring, and obviously looking forward to seeing you at the ILA conference next week.
Yes. We're actually celebrating our anniversary at our booth. I hope you're there. We're having a Tres Leches cake cutting.
I will
Um,
definitely be there. Yeah. My diabetes is already acting up right
uh,
now.
at 1:15 on Wednesday, so we'll have tres leches and some poppers and confetti, but super excited to connect with everyone, and thank you, Renee, for launching this experience. I couldn't think of a better first person to do that.
I'm just happy to be with you in regards to this and also just having a conversation. So I hope to see other leaders participate in this because lo necesitamos. We need each other,
Yes.
to support, to increase awareness. And then obviously too is hopefully we just have another different voice
Yes.
in the conversation. And I think that's always welcomed. So thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah. Salute to that.